Cue the show, sound surrounding, the screen will glow. Grab your popcorn, settle in. Movie magic's about to begin. Techthusiasm, the lights. Cue the show, sound surrounding, the screen will glow. Grab your popcorn, settle in. Movie magic's about to begin. Techthusiasm, turn it up to...
Hello, folks. Welcome to, Monday, February 9th, Techthusiasm Live podcast. Thanks for coming out. Hello already, Mr. Julius. Sorry, I got a smile on my face. I love that theme song. Of all the AI playing around that I've done, I think that's been probably the best output that I've seen. It just, I don't know. I like concept of it being like my thing, my business, whatever. It's a little catchy jingle. If I'm in a bummed mood or whatever, listening to that brings a smile to my face. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great week. Man, I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Looking at my bullet list, it's several bullets deep. It's been quite a week. We've had actually just as of this morning, a major breakthrough in our theft case that's been kind of ongoing the last couple weeks. So I can talk a little more freely about it now, but I'll give an update about that. And yeah, actually did some techie stuff around the systems. A couple things going on in the systems in the last week. A whole bunch of just business activity, working on some stuff with my son, watching the Olympics, making content. We filmed 3 videos. My son and I did yesterday. He was running the camera. So trying to stick with the idea of like not being so static, although actually the video that we'll post tomorrow was actually the static camera, but the other 2 had my son running camera, running cinematography. So just a lot of cool stuff going on. Busy weekend, but good with family and all that. So had some soccer games for the daughter, watched that, some family time around the house and whatnot, and again watching Olympics and kind of enjoying all that. So sound off in the comments. Let me know who's out there. I think I already hit this one. Hey, Julius. Hey, Joe. Hey, Srin. Welcome, guys. And to everybody else, let me know who's there. Let me know what you've been doing, what's new in your entertainment systems, in your home theaters, around your tech enthusiast existence in the last week. So otherwise, I would encourage everybody, hit the like button, do that YouTube stuff, please, if you would. And of course, always a reminder, if I can help you with any of your planning, if I can consult, advise, help hook you up with your next home theater upgrades, any of that stuff, please do reach out, get in touch, email jeremy@techthusiasm.net, or go to the newly kind of revamped techthusiasm.com. Changes are afoot. And we've already actually launched some of the pages, changes, to the pages. My son and I, in particular, he's been doing a lot of behind the scenes, learning some web stuff and building some things out. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But there's a whole bunch of there's some new stuff at techthusiasm.com and more coming as well. So what have we been up to? Well, again, two cool I think techie things came into the systems in the past week. Actually, I even say 3 because I kind of made a decision as well about something that we were musing on in the discussion last week. So number 1, I finally took the UPS that I had bought a while ago now, for protecting my NZ900 projector, and unboxed it and installed it. So let me pull this up. Actually, I can show what I want to do that. Show what I bought here, but I didn't get the screen share arranged ahead of time. But I have it now. Let's do a share screen window, and we're going to share this window, and we are good to go with no personally identifiable information available. Okay, so let's zoom this in a little bit as well. So yeah, here's what I picked up. Actually, I don't know why something isn't rendering right. We're losing some of the text and description, but in any case, sticking with the Wattbox gear here, this is the standby UPS 8 outlet model. I did go for the larger one, the 850 VA unit. It has overseas connectivity and all that kind of stuff. But the important part is it's a 450 watt 850 VA UPS model. And what I was looking for here, and what I would recommend for really everybody, essentially, is that more than likely you have your projector plugged in away from the rest of your equipment, where you may have a rack and proper line conditioning, protections, other UPSs, whatever it may be. I have the videos on the channel. Of course, I'm running a couple of Wattbox 820 1U rack mounted units, and then one of them protects my amps. The other one is plugged into the Monster 2000 VA UPS. And on that chain is like the Mad VR, the Kaleidoscape equipment, the Apple TVs, my preamps, my networking gear, and all of that. But that's in the other room forward of me, behind the wall where the screen is, and of course the projector is there behind my head. Trying to get the camera to pull over a little bit. So that's a different circuit. I'm not plugging that. I don't have any long power cord running to where the rack is, anything like that. So that projector is literally just plugged into the wall. I have a long power cord coming from behind the unit down and then across behind the curtains, of course, over to an outlet there. There is a 20 amp circuit that is kind of dedicated to this room. So there's not a lot of extra noise and interference, so to speak. We did that because originally this room was meant to be a workout room, a gym, and we thought we may be plugging in like high current stuff like treadmill or Stairmaster, whatever it may be. Of course, now we're sitting in the home theater. But when we did the electrical, we laid out the electrical for the house originally. We included this room as a 20 amp circuit, and we didn't share the plugs. The circuit for this room didn't share out to much else beyond it. So it's good in that regard, but again, it's just kind of plugged into the wall. And I have had occasion, it has happened to me where, we've been down here and we dropped power. Not even like taking risk where it's like, oh, there's a crazy thunderstorm outside, let's go watch a movie, right? But just other cases where, it's just been wintertime, windy, whatever, something happened beyond that we weren't expecting. But we had the projector on, power dropped out. And of course, you want to always be careful about that, especially if you have a bulb projector. But even with a laser, in most cases, I think the fans continue to spin at least for a little while. You want that thing to cool down appropriately instead of all that heat. Of course, if you have a bulb that really needs to be cooled down, or you could have the bulb kind of blow out and stuff like that. So this is a really great idea. At a minimum, of course, it will give you the time. It will give you the time to be able to shut everything down safely, let power continue flowing to the projector so that the fans can keep spinning, and then and shut itself down essentially when it's appropriate to do so. For us, we have a whole home natural gas generator, and so for me, really, what's most important is the several seconds that it takes when utility power goes down. Everything goes dark, everything gets taken down, and then the generator engine, the transfer switches detect that occurrence. The generator engine starts up, and when it gets to running at level, then there's a transfer of power from the utility power to the generator power, and then everything comes back online. And those transitions can also be, I think, somewhat harsh as well. And then when power is restored, power goes back to utility power without everything going down. But there can be a little dip, a little blip right in the middle of that transition. So the UPS is on all of the sensitive electronic equipment is really great, because now we're sitting down here, we got the projector on, watching a movie, whatever it may be. Power goes down, that UPS will keep that projector alive for the 7 to 10 seconds for sure that it will take to get to the generator power. Then after that, I'm scot-free. We don't even have to actually stop watching the movie. We'll lose audio, but then after, because the amps are not plugged into a UPS, they're plugged into the watt box and then the wall. Everything else will continue as normal though. So fundamentally, if the power goes out, we're watching a movie, we just hit pause real quick. Actually, the Control 4 is plugged in to the UPS as well. So control system will stay active. You can pause the Apple TV. It can pause the Kaleidoscape. That's all on the UPS. And then once everything's back up, we just hit play again and we're good to go. We sized our generator to essentially run the entire house without any deficiencies or shortcomings or whatnot. So when we lose power here, man, we're fine. We're good. HVAC is running. All the refrigerators and freezers are still in operation. We watch TV, do whatever we want. We're nice and comfortable. But now this $30,000 projector is hopefully protected from probably one of the biggest just environmental or like systematic risk factors that may affect it, impair it, damage it, or cause some unintended side effects. So, man, I bought this thing a long time. I've been mentioning for a while about the need to finally get it installed. It's a nice little unit, maybe about a foot tall here relative to the picture, six whatever 5 6 inches wide, couple inches deep, and you get 8 outlets. 4 of them are only surge protected. 4 of them are battery backup. So it was important actually to make sure make sure I plug the projector on the right side, but that's the battery backup side. And then it has a couple of like a fault light and a everything's good light. And then this little LCD readout is actually pretty cool. It's a you can tap it basically, and it'll cycle through a couple different status indicators. It'll tell you incoming voltage, outgoing voltage, load, and the battery percentage. So plugging it into the wall and firing it up the first time, the battery was at like 90% out of the box, so it needed to charge a little bit, which was fine. And I did do some experimenting where after we got it set up and installed, I turned the projector on, make sure everything was running. I never did actually unplug it from the wall just to see. I probably should have done that kind of full test, but running the projector, it was at about 80% capacity, 80% load. I think the NZ900 nominally is like a 400-watt power consumption, something around there, thereabouts. And again, this is a 450-watt rated UPS, so the numbers kind of roughly add up. They're around 80%ish. Yeah, not really a whole lot to it other than it has a USB port. If you're using this for a computer, you can plug your computer in for like power management, stuff like that. And it has an uplink port as well to network in to the overseas system. That's like the Snap One monitoring, like more dealer centric monitoring capabilities and stuff. I do not have this UPS, my UPS. This one is not networked. I really have no reason to do that. I don't need to monitor it, and nor do I really have any need to do like remote outlet control or anything that like Oversea allows you to do. There's a couple of keyholes on the back, so if you need to, you could hang this on a wall. It's not super heavy. I think you'd want to probably use anchors or something. I wouldn't just put some screws in drywall and hang it, but it's not light as a feather, but it's not incredibly heavy either. So then, of course, the plug for the power. This is not a 20 amp model. Just plug it into regular 15 amp outlet. You're good to go. Reset button, and it worked out great actually. So what I was hoping to do was to put it down in the closet behind me on the floor. I didn't want to set it on the wood shelves in the closet. So the projector's on the topmost shelf of that closet, and then there's 3 more shelves, and then it's carpeted into the closet as well on the floor. So I didn't want to set it on the wood shelves because I wouldn't want it to like rattle or shake or something when bass is flowing around the room. And so setting it on the floor, it's on the padded carpet. That's perfect. So I just unplugged the long power cord that's already on the back of the projector and coming out and down the wall and over to the outlet. And I just kind of took it out of my channels that go underneath the curtains, wrapped it back into the closet, plugged that in, and then the cable that came with this, I want to say is probably nominally 6-foot cable, I think. But it was perfectly long enough that I could set this in the bottom of the closet. And then I just ran this power cable right through the channels and right to the same outlet that's behind the SB17 to my back left. So perfect. But we filmed that. I filmed that with my son. Again, he was running the camera. So we did the unboxing, kind of talked about some of the details and the specs. He recorded kind of vloggy style as we put it in. And yeah, it's in there, it's running, it's working. And now I have some nice improved peace of mind all about the protection of that projector. I'm gonna forget the price of this thing offhand. Let me double check that. I can pull that up real quick. It is it's $319.99 for that UPS. So not too bad, all things considered. And again, that now that that projector is well worth the protection relative to the cost of the projector, of course. But something that you may want to consider for yours if you're not doing something like that. So a couple of comments there. Yes, Ren, I have a smaller watt box UPS. Oh, for your security cameras. Nice. Yep. Yeah. Fundamentally, all of our security cameras are also UPSed as well because they are on the they're on all the Ubiquiti equipment is on the UPS and then they're PoE. So like I love that. And the cameras, man, I'll talk about this when we get to the theft update. But man, the cameras proved useful. They proved more useful than I thought that they were actually in the initial assessment. I'll talk about why in a little bit here. Welcome, C. Kennicell. I need a couple of UPSs. We can't find one that doesn't start screaming, beeping loudly when the power goes out. Yeah, so I need to test that. I'll probably go ahead and do that maybe right after the stream. I'll just walk back there, zip that plug out. I'm pretty sure it will beep and give some indication that it is that power has been lost, whether it beeps incessantly and continually or not. Actually, that would be a bummer. If you were using it. But again, you're not going to use the battery to continue watching a movie. It would just beep during the 7 seconds of the power transfer to the generator, and then we would be all set. Another question here, Maddie Daddy, who just got off work. Did you talk about that? No, I did not say anything about any X11L yet. Andrew Robinson gave it a glowing review. Interesting. Yeah, he likes those TVs, I think. Andrew Robinson is a big value guy, and I think he finds a lot of value probably in the TCL and legitimately good picture. I was watching FOMO and some of the other streams about the 11L, and they were really digging it. So I do have an inquiry out. As far as I know, it's really only available, the 98 anyway, as I understand it. It's really only available to like these advanced reviewers and stuff. It's not actually purchasable or like orderable in the dealer system yet, but I may see what I can do. I may see what I can do to do that though. Still see. I've been preoccupied with other things, so I haven't really given the TV much thought for a 2026 change out. Still like G6, X11L, whatever, but it will happen. Something will happen. I will not it will not be long into 2026 probably before a new model comes into the room up there. Hey, Joe, UPS, yeah, definitely on my list for my racks. Yep. Yeah, Joe has the Wattbox units as well in his racks, but none of them, they're not UPS'd. Yep, and the generator, yeah. Having UPS with generator is like the sweet combo. It's like having a Tesla with solar panels. It's just you get like a double whammy of benefit out of doing that. So, and I'd like to add a UPS for my projector. Yeah. Oh, but you can't because the projector is ceiling mounted. Yep. So shelf mounting helps, or if there's a way to do like a longer power cable routing to somewhere where you could have the UPS be, or hide it or obscure it. But yeah, it is tough. I would guess for if you have a ceiling mount and you had an outlet installed right above your projector, there's not a lot of space or room to put a unit in there securely and potentially hide it and whatever as well. But yeah, so we did that. Super happy with that. We also filmed we fully filmed the room tour, the living room updated room tour. So I published a home theater room tour last year, like early-ish, around the same time. I think it might have even been 2025, after the Utopia speakers and stuff went in. So that one's been standing for a while. But I think it was like 2023. Certainly 2024 at least, if not possibly even 2023, since I had updated the living room AV setup tour. So, and of course, we did all that work at the end of the year last year. So I've been wanting to do that for a while. I didn't want to do it while the Christmas tree and stuff was up. So I was kind of waiting for the Christmas season to end. And then our Christmas season went kind of long. We actually only put away a pretty decent amount of Christmas decorations yesterday with our travels in January and the illnesses. It's pretty wild. It was even like talking to friends, real close friends of ours we haven't seen in a while. It's like, God, we got to get together because we came right out of the holidays sick trip. Then my wife was sick. And then we've had a bunch of these like crazy early morning weekend activities and stuff with the kids. My son with his drone thing. a weekend ago. We were up at 6 a.m. again, or 6:30 on Saturday to get to a soccer game. So just lots of things going on. We haven't really, socialized like a lot of things we haven't done. And so the living room is a mess. We had the Christmas bin still out. We had Christmas decor still up. And it's like, I'm not filming the tour until the room actually looks fairly presentable on camera. But anyway, we cleaned up, we put some things away, finally did some house chores, projects, and whatnot, and got the room looking nice. So my son and I filmed that. He's been in the process of editing it. I'm going to release another video tomorrow. I'll talk about what that topic will be here in a little bit. Um, and then I think I will probably just go ahead and release the tour video maybe by the end of the week if I have it. But I'll probably do it members first as well. If we don't get it edited, then I may hold it until next week. But whenever it's done, we'll put it up members first. But I'll figure out the scheduling. But I want to release the tour video first, and then we'll do the UPS install video after that. So we'll see what the release cadence is. The other thing that I wanted to share, and actually, let me pull up. I thought I was prepared, but now the more I talk, it's like, oh, I need to get a link for this as well. Where did it go? Another thing that I did techie wise, and this does have to do with the TV. Yep, here it is. Let me copy this link. Is thankfully, one of the shortcomings. For folks that it mattered to, I guess, one of the shortcomings of TCL is that they lacked a good Control 4 driver, and now we have one. So this is pretty cool. I understand this has been worked on for a little while, but TCL didn't really have good until now anyway. I think TCL didn't have great driver support in Control 4. So all this time that I've had the QM9K, we've been slumming it with multiple remotes. We've been leaving the TCL remote out to turn the TV on and off, change the inputs, stuff like that. And then, of course, using the Control 4 Halo alongside it once everything is on to control Apple TV, Kaleidoscape, etc. Kind of a pain, of course. We all of us, I think, in this hobby seek a really solidly working, reliable, and efficient single remote solution. And I think I'm not sure on the entire history of this. I may be speaking a little bit out of turn, but I think like there were drivers, but then they stopped working. And then like TCL over the years, I think has also changed the platform of the television. They're all Google TVs now. Going back a little bit further, I don't think that they were all Google TVs. But so there was a lack of, I think, any functional IP driver as well. I think there might have been some IR drivers, and of course you can do some learning and stuff like that. But then, in their infinite wisdom, Control 4, the Halo remote doesn't actually issue IR commands. You have to have your controller do an IR output, and that's a hassle for me because they're in different rooms and whatever. So anyway, I'm kind of blabbering. But long story short, this is out now. So if you have a TCL TV and you have a Control 4 system, I suggest that get your integrator, etc. And just maybe, just maybe, there may be some options coming at some point in case you need some help or a new integrator. But talk more about that another time. But in any case, talk with your integrator and have them get this driver. So this is up on. I don't know all the details completely yet, I guess, like how you get drivers and where main drivers and stuff are published, but this is published to this Driver Central page here at least. So there is a brand new universal IP and IR TV driver for Control 4. This is first party, or at least like first party provided, related, engaged, whatnot, but again, available for Control 4. And it works like a champ. So I had my current or my ongoing Control 4 integrator, Mr. Dan DiCarlo at AudioVision here in Southeast Michigan. Like, hey, Dan, like the driver's out. Can you drop it in? So he was able to do that remotely. I actually need him to come by to do a couple of things, but it hasn't worked out to do that anytime recently. But remotely, he was able to drop the driver into my configuration. And there's really just a couple of minor settings basically on the TV now. And I think it might have been one of these settings might have come out with the most recent firmware. I'm going to do a separate video on this as well, but it's fun talking about the stuff on the live stream, a little more asynchronous and kind of open loop. So there's like an advanced setting to actually enable external control, and it specifically mentions control 4 in the setting of the TV. And then you also have to turn on you basically have to put the power, like turn off some power management stuff, or make sure that you have like a network standby enabled as well. And so we did that, no problem. Just go in. I think I already had the network standby turned on, but I believe that that control 4 specific option may have been new or relatively new. I didn't have it set originally, and then after the driver was put in, just go in and toggle it, and we're good to go. So now that silver included TCL remote is in the drawer with the other remotes for the stuff that's in the room, and we're happily just able to use the Control 4 Halo all the way through. So it turns the TV on and off. It manages input changes as we select the different watch sources in the room. Of course, that's all I really need it to do. It can do more than that, but the features, right? Complete, fully featured smart TV integrated into Control 4, volume, mute, channel control, navigation control, D-pad, home, menu, back, settings, info, mini app configuration control, button mapping configuration as well. I did see that in the driver actually. So if you have a remote that has them, like if you have an older like SR260 or whatever, you can custom map red, yellow, green, and blue. If you have a non-touch Halo, you can map. I think these are the custom hard buttons. But it works for a lot of the TVs as well. So you can see kind of all the models here, and the software versions and stuff are required. US and Canada, Latin America. So most of these models are some of the newer ones, I guess. 11K, 9K, 8K, 7K, 6K, and then down to some earlier models, including the G models also. So I would presume that anything new coming will hopefully be reflected and supported very quickly in the new driver, and that this will be kept up to date as we go forward. So yeah, make sure TV is on the current software. Go to software update page, TV menu, check to see if your firmware, etc. And then works with both the prior version of the OS and then the new X4 version as well. So I have not had any trouble with it. It's been working great. I don't actually need any. I don't need to really control the TV itself. I don't use the built-in streaming apps and that. So my needs and my testing of it was a little bit minimal, I guess, but it did everything that I was needing it to do. As far as I know, it's no cost. So Dan didn't ask for any. He didn't ask for any charge basically to get this and put it in. So I believe this is available. Basically, any dealer can kind of just grab it, use it, integrate it, and you're good to go. Which is awesome because sometimes drivers for a major brand like this, I would expect it to be no cost, but sometimes drivers can actually have a cost to them. So yeah, get it. If you have Control 4, you have a TCL TV in that list, go ahead and grab it. Yeah, so TCL would not work very well with Savant. I was warned by my dealer. Yeah, probably for the same reason. Quite a few issues. They don't recommend them. It was Savant. Yeah, it's up to Savant to create the driver. So yeah, they just need to get on the ball and do what they need to do. Savant does for that. So that was pretty cool. I was very happy to get that. Again, the inefficiency of having to grab the other remote and then trying to explain to the family, we'll use this one to turn this thing on and set these inputs and all that. Was a pain. So now that pain is alleviated. So happy with that. Again, like I said, I probably will just spin out a little separate dedicated video about that, just to raise awareness to the fact that is now available to the folks that it could benefit. And I will jump in also and kind of validate what are the programming characteristics and stuff of the driver in case anybody needed to do anything a little bit more advanced with it. There should be both a set of like programming triggers related to the TV, like when this happens, or if something is in this state, you can use that as a trigger. And then it should also have perhaps some other like programming events and whatnot that you could key off of to if you needed to do something with it. So still happy with the TV, of course, and even more happy now kind of with the advent of this driver and its much improved operation. Something else that occurred to me this week is, and that I haven't paid attention to in a while. Well, actually, let me say this. I'll rephrase that. Um, I am astounded at how much PC parts are costing nowadays. Holy cow! So, it's already brought to my attention a little bit, like just how much kind of like the AI boom is starting to eat up certain aspects of components like memory, solid state disks, and some other parts. And um, by virtue of essentially the Kaleidoscape changes for February, spoiler alert as well, there are a couple additional Kaleidoscape kind of offering and promotion changes actually effective essentially today. So I can talk about this, but they've had to kind of pivot some of the lines around because of availability of basically explosive growth of AI, massive demand for certain components, advanced processors, memory, storage, etc. So some of the models actually have gone away. The Terra Prime 48 no longer exists, but they've launched a compact Terra 30 terabyte in its place at a price list price 11,995. The 18 terabyte model that was rejiggered from the 24 terabyte model remains available 7,995. I will say again, if you want an SSD Terra, if you want that mini Terra Prime, if you didn't buy it uh, before the last warning, you better buy it now. um, buy it soon, or buy it in the next few weeks. There are a couple of promos as well. So if you buy a Strato C, you can either get it with the 18 terabyte compact Terra or the 30 terabyte compact Terra. Let me make sure that I state that as well. The 2U larger 48 terabyte has been replaced in the lineup by a 30 terabyte compact model. So that's one drive, 30 terabytes compact model. But both of the combos are $1,000 off MSRP. But what I noticed was when I was doing the tour video. So one of the things that I wanted to add up is like, well, what's the retail price of my living room system right now? Because I wanted to be able to talk about that and definitely put it in the. It's expensive. Spoiler alert, right? It's expensive. We've invested a lot of money into that setup. It's a demo system. It's a business investment, etc. Um, but I figured we were over 50 grand, and we are. But as I was adding up the pieces, and I got to the PC, I'm like, I honestly have no idea like what these PC parts cost. And so I think when I built that computer last year, I want to say we spent about $4,500 on it. That feels about right. I think the video card was like in the twos, or maybe it was closer to 5 grand actually. I think the video card was like in the mid to upper twos or something like that, maybe close to 3,000 at the time. And then all of the other parts together were another 1,500 bucks or so, maybe 2 grandish. 100 for the case, 300 for the processor. So here's the kicker: 200 for the memory, 64 gigs of DDR5 memory. When I built that computer was $200. Couple $100 for a 4 terabyte PCI Gen 5 SSD, another couple $100 for the 1,500 watt power supply. And then shortly after that, the prices of the video cards just really came down, and they were prolific. Man, I remember it wasn't even that long ago, some number of months ago, logging on like Micro Center, and it's like, oh my God, like they have like GPUs stacked to the ceiling. And all these prices and all the prices were coming down. They were getting actually closer, or I don't know if they actually even achieved MSRP. Um, Now you want a 5090. Oh, I think I'm. Come on. Getting a little jittery here. Apologize if there's. There we go. Okay, looks like we're caught up. Now, if you want a 5090 video card, man, they're not available again, and it's like 4,500 to $5,000. It would cost what I spent for the entire computer. Now would just barely pay possibly for the GPU. That $200 of 64 gig of RAM that's in that computer is $1,000 bucks. $1,000 for two sticks of 64 gig of RAM. I thought the SSD prices were gonna be higher when I was looking, at the piece prices and stuff, but, but I think it's less a problem of, like, there you just really can't buy them anymore. So, like, an SSD, an M.2 4 terabyte PCIe Gen 5. Let's see here. Yeah, here's one on okay, no. Okay. Yeah, here we go. 4 terabyte, $855. Western Digital Black SN8100 4 terabyte NVSD NVMe SSD. That's too many letters at the same time. PCIe Gen 5, 855. I think it was like 300 when I built the computer. You can buy a 1 terabyte right now for what I paid for a 4 terabyte when I built that computer. So it's like Jesus, you add up that computer now, 5,000 for the video card, a grand for the RAM, a grand for the SSD. You're already at 7. And then you still have to get the everything else, the power supply, the cooler, the CPU, motherboard. It's like borderline like 9 grand, 9 grand, maybe even like close to 10 grand to build a really high-end gaming PC at the moment. Just absolutely insane. So the companies, all the companies out there that are affected by this, like Kaleidoscape and more, it's a bummer. But these data centers, AI data centers, or AI in general, in the data centers and all the stuff that's being so like hotly contested around the country, is just sucking up um, all of this stuff. And so, like, man, that's insane. If I were considering it today, I don't think I would build a PC. I think I would just be buying a PlayStation 5 Pro and then crossing my fingers and hoping that like the next generation of PlayStation or Xbox, comes soon in order to get some more power. But I wonder if this trend continues and it doesn't abate, what is the next generation of video game consoles going to cost? I think even like the Switch 2 was affected a little bit by this, either earlier in its life or before it had shipped, with some price adjustments or a potential risk or threat or whatnot of price adjustments. But pretty crazy, pretty crazy and very unexpected. Again, like I said, I haven't shopped PC parts in a long time because I haven't really had a need to. I'm not going to build a computer. I'm not going to build another computer, and nobody else in the family has a need for one. We're good with like our MacBooks and stuff like that. But even still, like, are we going to see prices like the price of laptops and all that stuff? MacBooks, Windows laptops, Microsoft Surface models, and all that. I wonder if they're going to be in the tail of things that are going to be getting more expensive very quickly here because of, again, it's SSDs, it's processors like GPUs, and it's memory. So pretty wild, pretty wild. A couple comments here, Joe. Yeah, this week I learned Driver Central has a C4 driver that integrated a HomeKit into C4 via Homebridge. Yep. Actually, I don't think you need to use that anymore, because there's supposed to be some other. I still haven't looked at it. I thought there was supposed to be some better native support for HomeKit in X4. Yeah, X4 has native HomeKit support. Yep. So, because I almost bought that driver actually a while ago when I was playing around with Homebridge. I had Homebridge loaded on my Synology, and I was going to do some stuff with that. But I really need to get into the HomeKit Control 4 X4 integration. Yes, we recently got a Micro Center. Yeah, that's such a great store. I love it. We have one. It's a haul though. It's like 40 minutes to get there, and for me, nominally, I would say, and maybe a little bit less in good driving conditions. But the freeways that I need to take to get to it have been perpetually in reconstruction for a while, and so it's a hard challenge for me to get there. But it's an awesome store. Um, I mean, it beats it being able to go if you have one close to you, being able to go and get parts like that somewhere. It's really the only place that you can get it. Best Buy tries to sell PC parts and stuff, but like Micro Center is almost the equivalent of like walking into Newegg. um, it's great. So yeah, recently got a Micro Center, not gone yet. Wanted to build a PC. Yeah, prices are too high. Put it on the back burner. Yep, get the weekly emails. It's not cheap. Yeah, I was astounded. Again, I haven't had a reason to pay attention to the price or cost of some of these components, and only kind of tangentially was aware of what was going on. But it's wild. Julius paid $300 for 32 gig of RAM about 3 months ago. Yep. So now that would be about $500, 450, 500 probably, based on the price of the 64 pair that I was looking at. So I also need a new MacBook Pro. I'm worried. I haven't looked at the price of any of that stuff lately either. I upgraded. I'm on a MacBook Pro. I'm on a MacBook Pro right now. My kids have relatively new MacBook Airs. My wife is the holdout. She refuses to switch. So she's still in the in the dark ages with her Windows laptop. But I didn't really feel a need to upgrade my laptop in 25, but we'll see what happens this year. I may be inclined to upgrade, but if it's going to be like already crazy expensive on top of the Apple tax and stuff, who knows? Maybe I'll hold off. I'm finding that I need a little bit more. And actually, what I need is SSD space. I've kind of been getting by with like I think what I have. I think I have 512 GB or whatever on this MacBook, and I have 256, I think it is, on my 500 gig and 256 on my phone. And I'm using my phone to record a lot more content for the channel. And in addition to the things that I already have stored on my phone, if we try to do a lot of recording before I offload the videos to the laptop for editing, my phone's filling up. So we encountered that actually on Sunday. So next upgrade, I'm probably going to go to a terabyte in the MacBook, and I'm going to go to 512 on my next phone. I think is the way that I should do it. I'll use M1 MacBook Pro 16. Yeah, getting old, battery not lasting. Yeah, this is an M. I forget what M this one, but I have the 16 as well. I like the 16. Let me come back to StreamYard there. Oh, Mandy, hey, by the way, do you have any way to order dropship Panasonic? I'd have to look that up. I can check that later at the end of the stream. I think that's the Blu-ray player. Or 77 ZABP. That might be the TV. I don't think I can do Panasonic, actually. We'll follow up after. All right. So that's been going on. In terms of what we've been watching, if you've been watching anything, we've been watching the Olympics. That's been fun. We didn't even actually watch the Super Bowl. We watched the Olympics last night. Watched the opening ceremonies and then a little bit of some other Olympic content through the weekend. I was trying to record it all on the Tableau over the air and stuff, and it was doing a fine job. The quality wasn't that great. And we were finding like, okay, it recorded these events, but it kind of jumps in, doesn't have like the complete sequence of the event, just whatever basically NBC chooses to air. So I did actually end up signing back up with Peacock. I figured, well, if it's only a month, I'll pay the $16.99, and then we'll be able to watch anything that we want to watch. Like if you're into the Olympics, pay $17 and go get Peacock. That's my public service announcement. Literally every event is there, all the coverage. You can jump in and out of the different blocks of the event so easily. It tells you it's like when the event is upcoming and what time and day everything is going to be. Looked great, way better than the broadcast TV version or broadcast signal that the Tableau recorded. So we've been having fun with that. Yeah, Super Bowl was in 4K. Probably would have been able to watch it in 4K. Actually, I think they had it on Peacock and as well. I think I actually recall seeing that when we paid for it and logged back into Peacock yesterday. I think the Super Bowl stream was there. I wonder if YouTube TV might have also had it. Might have also had it in 4K. Yeah, Joe, if you're running Xfinity for your ISP, Peacock, oh nice, Peacock comes with it. That's how we're doing the Olympics. Yeah, no, we have WoW. here, no Xfinity. So if we want Peacock, we have to pay for it. I canceled Peacock back when they lost the WWE content. Raw went to Netflix and they broke it all up all over the US. So I didn't really feel a need to keep it, but it's definitely worth $17 if you don't already have another alternative high quality arrangement and you want to dabble in some of the Olympic content. Yeah, Peacock's been airing some show sports in HDR and Atmos also. Yeah, it has. I mean, they have all the right technologies and stuff, particularly for the video content and what they serve. Bit rates are okay for sports and stuff though. It's been a good service. I wish they would bring the WWE stuff back, honestly, because I paying more for the stupid ESPN thing that I don't want just to get the WWE premium live events. And then Netflix or Raw is over here on Netflix, and they still do the Saturday Night Main Event, which remains on Peacock, and then the catalog content. They WWE really screwed up when they splintered all of their streaming rights and licenses across all these different services. Maybe they made a ton of money doing that, but they they infuriated the fan base, definitely me. So anyway, so that's that. But yeah, Peacock Olympics will probably be watching a bunch in the next couple of weeks or whatnot as they continue. Something else I wanted to mention. So the webpage, hey, if you're just listening, you're chilling back, hop on to techthusiasm.com and check out some of the new stuff that we have kind of going on there. This is really just the start. I can show this as well. Let me go back to a screen share. But my son and I, we've done a lot of like web learning. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff going on here now. We kind of consolidated some things. There still is the contact form. So either email me directly or you can get in touch, of course, in the contact form. We consolidated a couple of the different sections of the page under this about link. So of course, if you do shop with any of my many affiliates, or hey, you're buying a Tesla, a Tonal, whatever it may be, Amazon, Target, Walmart, eBay, etc. You can get to these through the webpage. You don't have to go through the YouTube videos. So that makes it a lot easier to use these. Hopefully, please use them. I feel like a lot of these links are they just don't get used as much as they actually could be. Doesn't cost you anything but the extra time to click. I do have the brand listing still. I kind of moved that. That needs to get updated. I did update the this page, kind of like the about us a little bit, put some new pictures and stuff up there from our last trip. And I did also kind of write a full, more like business policies, which I didn't have published, but now we do. But what I really want to draw attention to is there's a new section of the page, and we called it gear. So I will call this a catalog. Call this a catalog more than a store per se. But we're just kind of getting started with this and with the ideas of it. So there's a couple different brands right now. We're working on more. It just takes time. It's like busy work to get the product details put up there and kind of get things present. But as you can see in the JVC section, of course, we have the JVC projectors. You can click on them here. We've got nice high resolution pictures of all the models and whatnot. Some detailed information. I do. And then, of course, a contact form. So one of the things that you're not going to see here, though, is direct like add to cart. I am finding most of the brands in this space don't want their equipment directly purchasable via e-commerce. So it takes a lot of approval. There's very little true approval for a lot of these brands to actually buy it straight up online. So in terms of actually like using this as a sales opportunity, pretty much every product page has a form directly on it. So if you're looking at something, you're interested in it, you want to talk about it, whatever, spec it out and talk all the purchase details and whatnot. You can get to me through the forms. But we want to build this out. Again, this is just the very beginning, looking to add more specs and details about all the equipment, models and so on. Looking to add we can directly embed like YouTube videos. So if you're looking at a specific model of something, perhaps like here, we'll embed the installation. I need to actually take this off. This model is no longer available as of today, but we can embed the YouTube videos from the channel here, which is great. So any like review or technical product information, and I kind of want to author like a, this is what I think, or this is what I think about this model or this product. Like this is who it's for, and this is what some of its virtues, or this is how you would use it in a system. This is what it matches up with, stuff like that. So pretty cool. I think it just again, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work kind of getting to this point, and but it's here now. So we got some Wattbox stuff up as well, and we'll keep going. So we're working on listings for per listen, and I'm going to list some other like equipment as well, just not just the stuff that I sell, but the stuff that I like. So I'm intending to put up um, a page or whatnot for like the Anthem equipment, and I'll just have links in there to be able to get to like Crutchfield or Audio Advice if you want to buy Anthem, because it's not something that I can provide. So again, looking at it as a little bit more of a catalog, but a catalog that can kind of steer you to being able to acquire specific equipment as well. Um, put the a listing for the Audio Advice, these chairs, the Revelation chairs. We'll get one in there for them. And then, we got a lot to do still. We got SVS, Per Listen, Den and Marantz, Anthem, and a whole bunch. So over time, we'll evolve this. If and when I do get any approvals, actually, he was just asking about Focal. So I do have Focal. We started. Oops, Sren mentioned that. I hope you have one for Focal. So this is like speakers, man. Speakers are arduous. There's just so many models. But we do have a variety of the Focal stuff entered. So again, I want to get the videos going, the videos embedded. Of course, I just put all these utopias in. Ooh, I got to change that. There shouldn't be an add to cart. I need to double check that. Okay, so I got a little bit of web work to do right after the right after the stream. We're disabling add to cart and replacing it with the contact form. If and when I do get approvals to be able to do direct like e-commerce, then we can enable the cart options. The infrastructure is all there in the background. So actually there is a cart system on the page. There's a login. You can make an account and be able to have like your purchase history, stuff like that. I may actually end up moving some of my invoicing and billing over to their platform away from Stripe, which I've been using. Using Stripe, I found, is a little bit of a it's a little disjointed for folks. It works great and it's very reliable and whatnot, but I think I want to try to bring everything more directly into the site as much as I can. So we don't have all the Focal models listed yet. We still got to do the Arias, the Cantas, and a couple of other things. So, but I wanted to get it up because I wanted to kind of show it here today. And it's exciting. I think this is a cool new step, and we're not going to stop here. So our next plan, actually going to have my daughter do this. My next plan is we want to get the merchandise store moved in here. So if you want to buy a Techthusiasm t-shirt, hat, whatever, that kind of stuff is natively available in the like Squarespace business promotion offering. So we're going to do that. And then the other thing, the video that's coming out tomorrow will announce formally that I'm partnered with Sideshow Collectibles. So if you're not familiar with Sideshow Collectibles, they're pretty much like a premier place to be able to obtain memorabilia of your favorite movies, characters. So you're talking figures, statues, posters, right? Premium format statues, quarter scale, third scale statues, all this stuff. My son and I are getting into this. I explain it all kind of in the video tomorrow, what we're doing. Going to have a nice big display set up in the house here. We're of 6 scale figures and stuff that we're working on. So I polled the channel audience a little while ago to see if folks, were you a collector? Did you like to buy, physical representations or manifestations of any of your favorite stuff? And more than half said yes to that. So Sideshow, now we're kind of set up with them. So we want to bring that hopefully in some form to the webpage. I'm still kind of working on the implications of this and how some of the offerings will go, especially with the logistics of how some of this stuff is bought and sold, because there's like pre-orders involved and stock. I don't want to maintain big inventories and whatnot of different stuff, but I want to be able to offer this stuff. I think it's fun. I've got a big passion for this. I've always been a collector, toys, figures, vintage stuff, child of the 80s. Man, I was there for all of it. Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, et cetera, et cetera. The advent of the Ninja Turtles, all these awesome properties and licenses, and of course, all the comic book characters and stuff like that, Marvel, DC, et cetera. So we're gonna take our comics, kind of put them in frames up on higher sections of the walls, and we've already got like a first like glass display case. We just bought one so far. We're gonna have three more. The goal is to set up like four of these glass display cases in the office. We're gonna fill them with figures, hot toys, 6 scale figures, some 12 scale figures, and maybe some vintage stuff as well, some other collectibles. So super excited for all of that. Um, and we're going to bring actually some of this content to the channel as well. You know, we watch these movies, we build all of these spaces, we buy this electronics equipment, home theater stuff, TVs, projectors, audio gear, right? So that we can watch our favorite movies. And what are our favorite movies? They're our favorite licenses, they're our favorite characters, right? We watch them for we do all this stuff for the content that we're enjoying on our systems. And so this feels like very directly tangential to that, right? A lot of the stuff that is offered, or that's out there, you know, in the collectible space, of course, is all about all these favorite characters and movie licenses and properties and whatnot. So I like it. It's fun. I'm going to have a ton of fun, basically buying toys, buying toys, setting up toys, displaying toys, posing toys with my son. It's really something that we're kind of sharing together, and we'll bring some of this content to the channel. So you may see some videos coming out where we're like, you know, unboxing, kind of reviewing, showing off, the latest 6 scale hot toy, or maybe some statues, other things like that. So we've already got like a display plan in mind for what we're going to do in the office. Certain properties, again, focusing for us, like focusing on Star Wars, MCU, some Marvel Comics inspired figures as well, and then some of those 80s properties, Joe, Transformers, Turtles, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, that one as well. The new movie's coming out for that, so like we're right in the wheelhouse of like all these properties being so big and being the basis for so much of the stuff that we enjoy. So I'm excited about this. Again, I don't know, it's kind of like throwing something at the wall right now, and we'll see how it's going to stick. But I was very excited about the prospect of this. If I could pave like the perfect future for all of our business endeavors and the things that we're doing, man, in our town, our little town, we have a nice town center and stuff that we live close to, walking town and whatnot. I would love to have like a physical store, um, where we could do like a combination of this stuff. Like it'd be a high-end pop culture store. It warps into something maybe with the electronics offering and stuff as well. But it'd be really, really cool. So 5 year plan, got a 5 year plan for that kind of thing. But anyway, this is off and running now. It's been actually kind of set since the new year. But again, this month, January, we really lost January to illness and travel, but now we're back to working on all these things, like full bore, ready to go. So it's fun. I hit a couple comments. Yeah, so Joe, love the gear page, looks nice. Yeah, I really like the Squarespace tools, and I think we've got a nice look. We might play around with some of that a little bit more as well, kind of coming up. But um, yeah, it's working out pretty nice. Julius, did you ever get your Best Buy affiliation worked out? No, whatever. Best Buy is a screwy company. They change their affiliates around all the time. If you were going to buy something from Best Buy, your best bet is to go to one of the videos where I link something to them, um, and just use that. You'll see like a shopping link down underneath. I forget which video offhand I linked some stuff to Best Buy for. I think any of the newer Apple TV videos, I think I link the Apple TV from Best Buy. And sometimes on the TV videos, I'll actually link the TVs to Best Buy, even though I sell them, just because I know people kind of they like the easy return policies and stuff like that. So you can help me out. If you shop at Best Buy, you can help me out if you go through the shopping links on the page there. Hamza, you know audio headphones. Yeah, not really. I've tried headphones and they don't really work for me that much. So I had a pair of the Focal Bathus, for a bit, but it didn't stick. I didn't like the weight and the feel and stuff kind of on my head. So, Maddie, webpage is looking good. Thank you. If you set out a newsletter recently, the last one was a week or so ago, or actually no, it was a couple weeks ago. When the Focal, sorry, not Focal, when the Kaleidoscape news came out for what was going to be changing in January or February, sorry, and I'm flipping all my words. I sent out, I think what was the third newsletter. I'll probably send out another newsletter as well because we got the communication about the changes for 2.9. And there's a couple things that I want to mention in it as well. Probably share some details about Joe's, a couple pictures and stuff about Joe's install. That was the one that we were talking about last week with the center channel installed behind the screen and stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping to I'll do another newsletter probably within the week, by the weekend at the latest. So I'm liking those as well, and they seem to be resonating pretty good. People get them. There's a very high percentage of click through and reading them. So if I can keep people informed, there's some new JVC promotions as well. The NZ 800 and 700 are now on sale, whereas the 500 and 900 were on sale before as well. So I use the newsletter to kind of draw attention to buying opportunities and promotions, share a little bit more personal kind of goings on, some behind the scenes stuff and whatnot. You can sign up right on the webpage for the newsletter. Or yes, yeah, Joe, we need a Dolph cameo. Yeah, in the new Moto movie. Yeah, I'm hoping that movie's good. It'd be cool to have some life reinvigorated into that property. All right. So I did tease the fact that we're at the hour. Wow, it's such a fast hour. I did tease, but I'm going to stick around. I teased early on that I was going to give an update to the theft situation, and we had late breaking news. Justice and restitution are coming. Justice and restitution are coming. So I can be a little more exact, but still want to be a little bit measured in what I say, or a little more specific, or a little more sharing. So for those that are kind of new to this topic, I've talked about it in the last couple of live streams. While we were gone on our recent vacations in January, we came home to realize that stuff was missing from our household. A number of pieces of jewelry were gone from my bathroom, my wife's drawers, and one of my drawers as well. My daughter's bedroom area. Another piece of jewelry that was sitting in the office was gone. And particularly my comic book collection was reduced, significantly reduced from where it was. So actually I can, let me share this. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. And let me get to the right window. Collection. Boom. Okay. Yeah. So if I share again, remove this one, share a screen, a window. Bear with me here for just a second. Okay. So this is topical as well, because this is what's going to change. And this is the video that's coming out tomorrow, kind of talking about it. This is the back wall of my office. I've shown this in a variety of places. You might have seen it in some, definitely on IG. If you follow me on IG, talk a little bit about this stuff. But we have our comic collection, we've got our art collection. But if you look, every one of those shelves, except the top right, of course, has 4 comic books on it. And when I came home from our cruise, basically that night, sat in the office to do some work, this was the wall. Notice anything from this to this? Yeah, there's a book missing nominally off of every shelf. I mentioned this before as well in the prior live streams, but 7 books were missing. The books that remained were shifted around to try to kind of obscure the fact that this theft had occurred. But I'm meticulous, and my son and I, we know what's going on. So when we walked in the office, wait a minute, something's not right here. Where could these things have gone? So suffice to say, again, all the while from the very beginning, we know who did it. We know what happened. So our trust was broken, our confidence was broken by a let's just say a service provider that had access to our home that we were paying to do some things for us that we could not do while we were gone, and she decided to help herself because she felt she admittedly this is a person that was in a kind of a some sticky life situations, some challenging life situations, etc. I have sympathy for that. I don't have very much sympathy for what she chose to do because of that. So she helped herself to uh, comic books, several comic books, equating to about $13,000 or so of value, and a bunch of jewelry that was like heirloom family stuff, predominantly things that my grandmother left before she died, specifically to my wife and to my daughter. I had a ring from my grandfather that he wore a lot. That was gone. So yeah, that's the gist of it. So we've been working through these last couple of weeks. We've been working with our local police department. The very next day, I called and reported it. An officer, an investigator, came over, um, took all of the story. They started working on the case because of the dollar value of the stuff that was taken. We're talking serious, serious felony, effectively in relatively short order, another 2 days later, I think it was, or then even the next day might have been, um, they had a detective come by, actually fingerprinted, some of the books that were on the wall, because if you can't really notice, but essentially some books were taken, so and then they were moved around, so, like, this book was moved down to this shelf, this book was taken, this book was moved to the right-hand side of the room, this book was taken, this book was taken, this book was taken, this book was moved up because this book was taken, this book was taken, and this book was taken. And so I had spent a while kind of trying to gather as much evidence and stuff as I could about what we had and trying to establish like when things were missing. And then between the ski trip and the cruise that we took, my wife was missing a necklace. She was trying to find a necklace in order to pack it to bring it on the cruise. Couldn't find it, and then we didn't really didn't give it much thought. But um, looking back now, of course, she couldn't find it because it was gone. It was probably stolen, or it was stolen ultimately during the ski trip, and then more things were taken during the cruise. So they tried to interview this person. They actually had enough evidence to call her in to talk to her, and evidently she kind of came and refused to cooperate, basically, and then was going to get a lawyer, whatever she felt was necessary. Um, and they were going to meet again early last week. That meeting didn't happen, and then we found so this is where the camera stuff I had watched all of the footage of our home video cameras, the Ubiquity cameras. I saw every coming and going, not for the ski trip because our retention didn't go back that far. I didn't have every day of the ski trip, but I had every day of the cruise and Orlando trip that we did in January. Saw every coming and going. There was no forced entry. Nobody broke in. Nobody else was in the house except for our cleaners, and the cleaners are clean. No pun intended. Um, but that it wasn't the cleaners. um, but and I watched all this footage to the point where like I was getting kind of brain dead looking at it. It's like watching this person come in, come in and leave, lock the door, unlock the door. We have cameras on our porch. We have cameras on our driveway, and the officer even mentioned, he's like, when you're watching the videos, like look, there was never like a bag. It wasn't so overt that like that this person walked out with a bag of our stuff or anything like that. But he's like, look at the clothes and like look whatever. And what I realized, and so when we talked this morning, we came to learn that the video one of the days of the video camera feeds was incredibly important evidence to be able to move forward expeditiously on everything. And basically, you could see the comic book under like some clothing. Um, and I missed it when I was watching all of the videos. I missed it because I was watching them. I pulled up the all of our networking on a browser page, and I was looking at the detections page. And then when you click on a video in the detections page, it brings it up in kind of a relatively smallish window. And I was watching a bunch of the footage like each day in a row, and I just never caught anything. But I mean, obviously, the investigate police investigators, they know exactly what they're looking for. And he's like, "Yeah, go back and watch, go back and watch the video feed from the one camera on the one day, and look a lot closer, and you'll see what you'll see." And what we see is our, well, let's just say it is our comic books. You can't see our comic books, but you see a big rectangular protrusion from a place that there is no natural big rectangular protrusion coming out of. And so with that, they had a piece of corroborating evidence. Um, Again, I want to be a little bit delicate, but there were search warrants, there were visits made, um, there was more conversations had, there was a confession or a partial confession, which was really goofy in the story that kind of came with it, an incomplete confession as well. So we're kind of working through some parts of that. Um, we've also learned that let's just say we under and we assume this as well after a little while of talking and thinking about it. We are not the only victim. Um, as we expected that we are not the only person that this person was performing this service for in the same period of time, or maybe over a period of time. And so it's easy to assume that the same thing could have happened to other people, and it seems like that may have actually been the case. Um, so, the long story short of it, with the confession came a acknowledgement of what happened to the comic book property, and they were located at a pawn shop just a town city over from us here in Michigan. And so contact has been made with the pawn shop. Like things are moving very fast now. There's going to be yeah things are moving very fast. So maybe I need to leave it at that. But we're hopeful. We're expecting that in the process of all of the things to come, we will get our books back. We will get our property back, which is or some of our property back. The jury is in the wind. Well, the whole jury thing is still kind of TBD. I at this point I expect that we will probably not see that jury again, but you never know if additional actions lead to a more complete confession and acknowledgement of what happened to that stuff. Maybe some of it actually is recoverable. The comics we could have always replaced again. I was actually starting to look. I was starting to look online, and I had saved. I was watching some auctions and stuff. I didn't want to commit to buying replacement books at all, just in case there was a chance that anything was going to come back. Because I don't want to end up with two copies, and nor did I want to get my insurance claim started. But it worked out. So at the end of the day, we will get. As far as I know, we will get all seven books back. Um, they were pawned for a loan, and so they actually weren't up for sale by the shop. But through the process of evidence and restitution and so on, and different legal police and court engagements that are going to come, we'll get them back. Um, but they're basically evidence right now, so I don't know exactly when when that may be. Um, But pretty wild, man, pretty wild. And so we'll see what happens again with the rest of it. It would be nice to get at least some of the jewelry back. The necklace that I bought my wife for her 18th birthday, shortly after we had met and been dating, um, a long time ago, uh, 20, whatever, 30-ish years ago. And then, of course, the stuff from my grandparents. Even if we don't get the stuff back, thankfully, we didn't get wiped out. So I still do have like some diamonds for my grandma, a couple of other things that were left behind, but it's been interesting to date. We everything was really quiet like last week. We were waiting for information. In the meantime, it's like they're doing their job, right? Police department's doing their job. And they did. They really worked. Um, they worked the case, and so this is going to lead to some other some other likely and potential interesting steps and stages and whatnot coming up. But yeah, we'll navigate it. We'll navigate it as we go. So, and eventually, hopefully, it'll be made whole. So, but I do appreciate being saved the effort, because some of the books that we had, we really spent effort, my son and I, time and energy, going to comic shows, scouring auctions, watching live sales, in order to find some books in certain conditions and stuff that we had them in. So I'm glad to be spared the weeks and potentially months of searching um, that may have been necessary to go into finding another copy of the same thing. So yeah, that's that. I'll update again as kind of we go through some more of this process coming up, maybe a little bit more in retrospect as things happen, of course. But yeah, it's frustrating, but I think it is just, I don't know, it is what it is. But yeah, this is the room, man. This is going to be fun. We're going to be bringing some stuff to the channel. Hopefully people like kind of some of the new content and some of the things we'll be talking about. Again, like the collecting side of things, of content, characters, licenses, memorabilia, etc. This is going to be an awesome showcase space. Our home is already a demo space, of course, for the business. We do. We're going to be hosting more showcase events coming up, inviting people into our home. Don't steal our stuff, please. But inviting people into our home to experience the systems that we've built, of course, and all that. I also do things by appointment. Have customers over when possible to be able to get here, local customers, whatnot, and so the display already. The comic room is always a point of conversation when people come by. Um, it's already a point of conversation when people come by, like checking the stuff out in there, the art, the books, etc. And it's going to be like taken it's going to go on crack. It's going to be taken to the extreme when we actually get the figure stuff going in there, still maintaining some comics and artwork and all that. Basically, the big hardcover book collection is going to get kind of reduced and moved around, moved out of this room essentially. And then we'll have some nice big display cases, wall to wall, left to right, comics up above them and around to the sides, some artwork down lower on the sides, and gonna be sweet. So excited for that. Maddie saying, "Yeah, I haven't seen this image of your collection. Looks awesome. Yeah, I love it. It's fun, and the most fun is doing it all, with my son. Yeah, crazy story. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Is that a pass through the live? Yeah, it is. The middle of that wall is like an opening. We're going to be blocking that up now. So the display cases that we're getting will be just about as tall as the top of that opening. We don't really need the opening anymore. Actually, there's a number of reasons why I think it'll be nicer to have it blocked off. Um, we'll see. We may end up getting like a carpenter or something. We'll build on the other side. It's just all bookcases, bookshelves. So we may close the opening up entirely, um, and have bookcases facing the living room, uh, put in that section, and basically just make it a complete side to side, floor to ceiling bookshelf. And then in here, you'll be looking at the display cases that will be kind of standing in front of it. But we got a lot of work to do. We got to get rid of, got to reduce these books and move some around. There's a lot of books, a lot of books to move. And then we need to pull everything out. We got to take the current shelves down, mud and patch and paint these walls again, and then start getting the display cases set up. We've already bought a bunch of figures actually, and got a bunch of pre-orders in for various things. So we can talk a little bit more about this in a future stream. Yeah, Julius, get those inside cameras for security. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up putting a camera in this room. It's hard to get. We don't really have. Well, we only had like two other drops inside the house for cameras that we actually pulled. One was in the basement, and I had pushed that one back and mudded over it a little while ago. But the other one, we have one in an upstairs location that I think I am just going to have the camera. I am just going to put the camera into that location. That would have also been, that camera would have been a saving grace in this whole investigation, because it would have recorded the person going into spaces, bedrooms that they had no business going into. And that would have helped a lot right off the bat initially. Um, she was really only authorized. She was authorized to go upstairs because we kept the cat in one of the bathrooms while we were away. So she was authorized to come upstairs, go into that bathroom. She had no reason at all to go into our bedroom and whatnot. So that other camera would have caught that. Family didn't want it, so I didn't put it in. But we're gonna put that one in, and then this room has a bunch of unused Ethernet drops on the back wall, not the display wall, but the back wall where our desk is. So I'm gonna put a camera in here looking at the collection, and then we'll have it. Anybody messes with the collection in the future, we'll have the footage. So that's the plan for that. But I'm gonna call it. We have 2 big racks of ribs that have been cooking in the oven since about 3 o'clock. I'm ready to eat those, spend some time with the family. I think it's gonna be a fun night, probably watch some more Olympics. Hoping to make some more progress on the Star Wars movies and TV shows and stuff as well, but I think the Olympics are gonna interrupt, some of our progress, through some of this stuff. Oh, and I mentioned earlier as well, I gave a lot more thought to the screen options that we talked about a week or 2 ago, and I'm thinking I'm gonna hold off on that, but I guess we're already at time or well over time, so I will save that for a future discussion. I'm gonna leave it here. Tomorrow will be a video again about kind of the concept of getting into the collectibles, the sideshow collectibles. I don't want to call it. It's not necessarily a partnership. They're basically a distributor, but we're connected now with them. We have a way to procure and offer really cool stuff. Um, so we got that video coming. We're editing the living room tour. We got the installation of the UPS video coming. Want to film some stuff about the TCL TV. We got the Control 4 driver, and more still that I want to get flowing. So I want to deliver more. I mean, we're already the content rich alone with the live stream. We got This Week in Kaleidoscape continuing to do those videos, but I really want to get at least one other edited topic video out. We haven't even talked about as well the MadVR Envy Commander that was announced. I need to do a video about that. Maybe we can take a look at that in the next live stream as well. So man, there's just so much going on, so many topics, so much to talk about. I can't even get to it all. And then yeah, my son and I, we're going to pick up like a lazy Susan. We're going to pick up a light box, and we're going to start talking about really cool physical representations of our favorite characters from all these movies and shows and things that we enjoy so much. But I appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out, all the content, comments, and all the engagement, questions, and all that. Always a good time. Much, much appreciated. And again, if I can help anybody with what you've got going on, please, by all means, come on. That's not what I want to do. I want to do that one. Come on over to the webpage. The webpage, again, it's expanding. We'll be doing quite a lot with that very quickly here coming up, or you can email me as well. More offerings. I haven't even, man, I got other big news still to announce that will hopefully be announceable here in February. I have to just make my full and final commitment to what's going to happen with a certain brand and upgrade that's coming to the dedicated home theater, not the living room. So again, thanks again. We will talk soon next Monday, 5:00 p.m. Check out the videos as they come. Get in touch if I can help you, if I can be of service, and come on back for more home theater discussion and fun.
The lights, cue the show.